This is Lou Elizondo, former U.S. Army and DoD counterintelligence special agent with over 20 years of service, a seasoned intelligence officer. Elizondo operated in the shadows, running high-stakes missions in Afghanistan, South America, and Guantanamo Bay. His career spanned counterterrorism operations against groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda national security. But it was his role as the director of the Pentagon's secretive Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP, and thrust him into the spotlight, claiming to uncover truths about UAPs the government, he says, has long suppressed. 5-phase plan. Phase 1. As Lou describes it, it is all about acknowledgement, getting the powers that be to admit that unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, are real. Not just lights in the sky, not just weather balloons, but actual phenomena that defy our current understanding of physics.
So, I mean, honestly, if it was Russia, Putin would have landed one on the White House lawn and gotten out bare-chested and wrestled the president on a unicorn or something. In China, they would overtake us all. And if we had it, we would knock everything down out of the air. So that really leaves only one of two options. It's either something that we've recovered and we're reverse engineering, or it is actually something coming from out of this world.
For decades, the topic of UAPs was ridiculed, buried under layers of secrecy and denial. Lou and his team at AATIP worked to change that. They pushed for the declassification of key evidence, like those infamous Navy videos, the Tic Tac, the Gimbal, and the Go Fast. These weren't grainy backyard video clips. They were captured by military sensors, vetted and released to show the public this is real, and we don't have all the answers. The goal here was simple but massive. Get the government, the military, and the public to stop dismissing UAPs and start asking questions. Why are these objects here? What are they capable of? And critically, what does this mean for our national security?
Phase 2. In this phase, Elizondo emphasizes the role of official channels like congressional hearings or Pentagon reports to provide more context about what's been observed. For example, he's pointed to the UAP Task Force report as a step in this direction, where the government acknowledged 144 cases of UAPs that couldn't easily be explained.
Well, a long-awaited intelligence report on unidentified flying objects has now been released to the public.
Yeah, it shows only one of 144 mysterious sightings could be explained.
He also mentioned the need for more transparency around sensor data, like radar or infrared captures, to give the public a clear picture of what's out there. The goal, as he describes it, is to move beyond the acknowledgement of Phase 1 and start answering some of the bigger questions. Elizondo has been clear that Phase 2 isn't about dumping everything at once. He's often said in interviews that the government has to balance transparency with national security concerns. This means some information might stay classified, especially if it involves advanced technology or sensitive military operations. This phase involves preparing the public for potentially unsettling revelations. So that's Phase 2 in Elizondo's framework, a slow, controlled release of more UAP information to deepen the public's understanding while keeping things stable. Next, we'll get into Phase 3 and see how Elizondo says this all unfolds from here.
Phase 3. Scientific and academic engagement. Elizondo has talked about the need for universities, research institutions, and independent scientists to study UAP data. Things like radar tracks, sensor readings, and material samples, if any exist. He's emphasized that this phase is about collaboration where the government shares its data with experts who can analyze it objectively. For example, he mentions the importance of peer-reviewed studies to legitimize the topic. Elizondo sees this as a way to build a solid foundation of evidence that can hold up under scrutiny. Now we're going to look at Phase 4, global cooperation.
Phase 4, Elizondo describes a stage where the UAP discussion goes international. He said that UAPs aren't just a US issue, they're a global one. with sightings reported by both militaries and civilians worldwide. In this phase, the focus is on governments and organizations coming together to share information and coordinate efforts. Elizondo has pointed to the need for countries to pool their data, like radar and satellite records, to get a clear picture of UAP activity across the globe. He suggested that this could involve partnerships with international scientific bodies or even the United Nations to create a framework for studying UAPs collectively. The idea is that no single nation has all the answers, and cooperation is key to understanding the scope of the phenomenon. Elizondo has also noted that this phase would require navigating tricky diplomatic and security concerns as nations balance transparency with their own classified programs.
Finally, Phase 5. Phase 5 is what Elizondo calls the stage of full public integration. This is where society as a whole comes to terms with the reality of UAP.
Do you believe aliens exist?
Yeah. Dog, shut the fuck up.
Of course, yes.
Oh yeah, of course. Could be.
Aliens don't exist.
Yes.
We know nothing.
And they're gone. Woo.
Elizondo has described this as a potential paradigm shift, a moment where humanity rethinks its place in the universe based on what has been learned. He's been vague on specifics, often citing the sensitivity of the topic. He suggests that this phase involves preparing the public for significant revelations, possibly about the nature or origin of UAPs. He stressed that this stage would require careful communication to avoid panic or misinformation with governments, scientists, and even religious or cultural leaders, helping people process the implications. Elizondo has said that this phase is about integrating the reality of UAPs into our worldview, whether that means new technologies, new scientific principles, or a broader understanding of life beyond Earth. So why should you care about Luis Elizondo and this whole UAP circus? Because this isn't just about blurry photos or wild stories. It's about your money, your trust, and the system being gamed right in front of our very eyes. Elizondo and his buddies are playing a dangerous game, manipulating the narrative, wasting your money, and disrespecting the public's trust. If we don't call this out, they'll keep milking the system while laughing all the way to the bank. And this is bigger than just one guy. It's about a machine, think tanks, insiders, and shady deals, betting on silence. But we're not staying quiet, and neither should you. Dig into the truth, question the narrative, share this video, and hit subscribe and get the word out. I want to give a shout out to Jeremy Mcgowan. If you guys get a chance, go read his articles. Look him up on X. It's Osiris. And also, thanks to Gabriel Speaks. He also did some of the voiceover of this video. Thanks. I appreciate you guys watching the video.